going to know is, out of these four skills, that is listening, speaking, reading and writing, we are going to know about speaking. Whenever we are verbally saying anything to communicate with others or to express ourselves, that is called as speaking. It should be meaningful, it should be grammatically correct. In whatever languages we are talking, that thing, whatever speech we are making, that skill is being called as speaking power or speaking skill. That is the most important thing to communicate properly with others. Why? You cannot every time write or read out, or you cannot every time listen. You can listen to others, but while you are making others listen to you, you will have to communicate through your power of speaking. That is the most direct way of communicating. So what is speaking? We know about it, but how can we make it an effective one? Listening practice, thinking in English and vocabulary building are the perfect launching pads to start the process of speaking. What does it mean? That whenever we are listening to something, we are having our classes and we used to do it in a regular basis. Whenever we are reading a book or somebody is reading a book or they're singing a music to us, the words, the sounds, the phonics that are touching our ears, we are listening to those, we are paying attention to those words. Those things are actually helping us to build up our vocabulary. We are listening and we are trying to understand the context, the meaning of those particular words. If those are new to you, your brain automatically tries to know about the word more, or where it goes, how it sits appropriately, or how we can use it properly. We try to understand it, and in this way we learn about the new words, and that we can properly use while we are speaking. So whenever you are thinking of starting of speaking, you will have to use the power of your words. So after crossing the initial stage, that means from babbling or from just the scratching point, you have started to know about your target language, maybe that is English, maybe that is some other language. You will have to hit from the very beginning with these two things, listening and speaking simultaneously. You cannot leave any of these skills, listening, speaking and reading, writing, individually or separately. You will have to go on to learn a language properly simultaneously in a collaborative way. While you are listening to a song, you will have to understand it. You will have to try to utter. You will have to read about this language. You will have to write about that particular thing. So, speaking or LSRW, this should be simultaneous. While communicating, this is quite obvious that we may feel that I'm completely blank. I don't know what to say, what to speak. Whenever I'm getting the chance of speaking in front of anyone, I get afraid of communicating. I will have to break those shackles. How can I do those things? First of all, I will have to identify the problems which are occurring to me while I'm trying to communicate in my target language, that is English right now. So, what are the barriers we will have to know about those things? What are the problems or issues that are coming towards us while we are trying to successfully communicate? The first thing is that hesitation. We often take ourselves, I don't know, I cannot say anything in English. Others are better than me. Don't go for these comparisons ever. Because whenever you are going for comparisons to others, that will make you feel hesitate about yourself. Be confident, Be bold. Why? Because nobody is going to judge you. Only you can judge and improve yourself. So hesitation, maybe that is coming because you have some limited word stock or word power. That increasing vocabulary is the most helpful thing to learn a language and to speak up. You are having lots of thoughts inside you, but in your empty, that is your mother tongue, you know how to express yourself in your mother tongue, because from the very beginning of your childhood, a necessity was there. You knew that to express your feelings, to express your thoughts, you need the help of language. And the language that you grabbed initially is your mother tongue. But whenever we grow up day by day, we get to know about some different languages, and sometimes those are the target languages to us. We often have to know about Hindi, we often have to learn about English and all these languages. And the first thing that occurs to our mind or comes to our mind is Amar pete lagche. Pete lagche amar. These three words are here. First of all, I will have to know the English or the Hindi of those three words. If I don't know, I will make some sign languages. We know that to express yourself, you can also use sign languages or symbols if you are trying to make your communication proper. But it is not the formal way to communicate. While you are communicating formally, you will have to make your speaking better. And for that, you will have to know about different languages, different words, different phrases, different jargons. If you are not going to uplift it much more in that way, at least use simple, lucid words and sentences, short sentences, so that you can communicate. You can speak up. Hesitation, limited word power, also the weak grammar. We know there are some sort of rules and regulations managed and maintained in languages. We have to use the verbs, adjectives, prepositions, and there are the sets which are already made. You cannot say I'm sitting in the chair. You will have to say I'm sitting on the chair. You cannot say I stand. I'm standing. You cannot say don't make sound. Please. You can say this, but you cannot say no sound. No heart. So every time, if you are saying it to me, no sound, I don't understand. But that is grammatically incorrect. So I need to know the rules, regulations, formations, all these things properly to express myself. To make my speaking proper, formal, and also attractive. Because the purpose of speaking is to make others listen. If I'm not attracting others, if I'm not making others interactive, then how is it going to be a proper communication process? If others are not listening, if they are not taking heed to my words, then need to result will be zero. So these three problems we will have to overcome. How? How to overcome these things? First thing, start with short sentences. I do, I am doing, you do, you are doing. These kinds of words. Use the small sentences and simultaneously, gradually, you just increase the level. Increase it. I am doing it. Ma'am is teaching. Ma'am is teaching us. Ma'am is teaching us the as business communication today while we 4 or 3 or 14 are present over here. In this way, from the short, simple sentences with the proper format and grammatical inputs, make it complex, make it different, make it difficult. So that what will happen, whenever from the simple way you will start, you will be correct. There will be less chances to be wrong, and that will help you to build up your confidence. Second thing, face the mirror. Face the mirror and see how are you communicating, whatever are you listening, whatever you have listened, have you spoken that properly? Are you articulating or your pronunciation, whatever you are pronouncing, is it correct? I told you, nobody is going to judge you. You are the best judge for yourself. Make a list of persons whose words or whose communication power seems attractive to you. Listen to them. Listen to those audios. If you like the Backstreet Boys, go for those songs. If you like Taylor Swift, go for those. Choose those things. I told you, before making this tongue, prepare your ears for proper communication. If you can't prepare a proper ear to listen to a language properly, you are not going to be able to speak it properly. To utter it, to articulate it, you will have to listen to it properly. That's why make a mirror, face that, and whatever you have listened or you have read, try that if you are making it properly or not. You know how the little children are learning to speak? By imitating. They listen to the words of the elders, whatever they are speaking or communicating, they try to imitate that. Go for target language in such a way. I never ever suggest the students to follow the empty theory, that is, think in your mother tongue and then put the words accordingly in the target language and then articulate it. Difficult process and a lengthy process. I always support listening and imitating. Try to imitate. Try to communicate in such a way that you know about it. If you are also getting yourself wrong at certain point, don't be afraid of it. Don't feel ashamed of it. Because ultimately, whenever after a day or a month or a year or years, whenever you will be able to speak properly, nobody is going to ask about whatever struggles or whatever ill feelings you had to face. That's why go for listening and mirror listening. Control non-word feelers. You know, I know. See, these kinds of words we often use. Whenever I am being hesitant, whenever I am feeling the lack of my word power or I am grammatically making mistake, I try to say, you know that, as if I am buying the time. Nobody is telling you to be hectic. Nobody wants your time. No one is just making you run a race over here. Take your time. If you cannot communicate properly, if you are feeling the complete blank over here, stop there. Take a deep breath. Think whatever you have jot down in your mind and communicate. If you are forgetting any part, leave that. Whatever comes to your mind, go for that. Don't stick to that particular area. What was that? I forgot. If I can't say it, people will laugh at me. Leave those things. Just go on lucid, simple words. Don't try to buy time with these non-word feelers because they are going to take your time, they are going to eat your time up, and your brain will be completely engaged in that, and you will use non-word fillers. Instead, take a deep breath, wait, and speak. Whatever comes first to your mind. And the last thing that I always prefer, converse, communicate, confidence. I know I can. This is the most important thing that we have to do. If I have this platform, if the person over here can communicate, I'm listening, I'm also trying, I can also do. I can, we all can do it. If I converse, whenever somebody is giving me the scope or the possibility, if I get it, to communicate in the target language, I may be wrong, I may not be perfect, but I will converse and communicate in that target language only. Why? Because my time, my personality, and my confidence will increase with that. I'm not saying that if you are being a perfect English speaker, then you are going to be a proper person, a great personality are you going to have. No. But at least you will feel a kind of confidence within you that I have targeted something and I have achieved it. So if I can achieve that target once, I can repeat that. I can do that at any time. So with a quick sum up, whenever we are trying to speak, that means we have already known about the ABCs of the English language, because we have known about reading, we know how to write it and what to listen and how to listen, and now this is the time to speak. There is no step. First you start reading, then writing, then listening, then speaking. There is no step like that. For learning a language, you will have to synchronize it accordingly. You will have to make a proper synchronization, and you will have to go on simultaneously with all these four skills. Listening, speaking, reading and writing. There are some barriers, there are some problems that may arise, like we may be hesitant sometimes that how to speak, what to speak. You may feel that there is a blank in your mind, what to say, I don't know, which words to use, I don't know. There may be some kind of weakness in grammar, the grammatical aspects which are quite necessary to know. Maybe sometimes we are forgetting, or sometimes we are feeling that I don't know about it, I forgot about those things. This may occur, this may happen. So what we need to do? We need to start with short, simple sentences. We will have to face the mirror. If you have a partner to communicate with, go for that. If you can control the non-word figures like you know and all these things which are not quite necessary while conversing, just remove those words and converse, communicate, gain confidence. You can do it. We have to.